Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on our special program reaching you live from NTA Channel 12 Uyo. That's talking about Newscope. My name is Umo Basidate, your host for tonight. Yes, today we have lined up programs, very interesting reports for you, and I know you're going to stay glued to the screen. First, we have grey hair. Yes, you see gray hair, everybody's going gray, and a lot of people have decided to attribute it to one form of stress or the other. There's so much hardship in the country, and that's why you see a lot of people growing gray. Is it true? Well, we went to the town and we spoke with a doctor to confirm what are the reasons for this early graying. I'm sure you would love to know it. And apart from that, coconuts. How do you like to eat your coconuts? Our correspondent was on the streets to find out the different ways of eating coconut and the health benefits of eating coconuts. Then, you will say life is so full of mystery. A 23-year-old girl nabbed for trying to sell her child. How can you get pregnant, carry the baby for 9 months, and shortly after putting it to bed, you decide to sell that baby? Where is motherly love? These and so many more reports for your delight this evening. Don't go away. We'll join Kelvin Samuel for the day's news. Thereafter, we'll continue with Newscope. Good evening.
Thanks so much for being a part of the news tonight. I am Kevin Samuel. Now to the stories of the day. Christian leaders have urged the federal government to cushion the effect of the economic challenges faced by Nigerians. They made the call in their messages to worshippers during the third Sunday service in the month of February to commemorate the 40-day Lenten Day. Umedimo Samson will tell us more.
As Christians gather to worship God during the third Sunday in the month of February, which is the 5th day of Lent, a 40-day season of prayer, fasting, almsgiving, and a period of preparation to celebrate the Lord's resurrection at Easter, they have been charged to seek God's face and intervention to solve the country's economic challenges.
These 40 days are for sober reflection. And that's why today we are going to ask God to show us His ways.
We have confidence against sin that we are going to be victorious because Jesus was victorious. Nobody can succeed in the fight against sin outside Jesus.
Christians are to reflect on what Jesus did, the essence of what Jesus did. We mustn't take it lightly that Jesus came down and died for us, and it is for our redemption. And it's a call for sober reflection every day of our lives.
Some Christian faithful say worshiping God on Sunday is a commandment which God has said should be kept holy. They also note that the day is also to give God thanks, while others say that leaders must prioritize the needs of the most vulnerable in the society.
Sacrifice, that moments of self-reflection makes us to go deeper and draw ourselves closer to God.
What's expected of us is to keep on trusting in God, praying unto Him, believing that someday this situation in Nigeria will pass away and will come into a period of flourishing again.
I want our leaders to know that they were given a responsibility. There are some things that they need to use the wealth and the blessings of the land to generate. For example, we cannot generate power for ourselves. They should give us power. I just pray for all of us who are citizens. We need to see what we can contribute. Also talk to government. Government should help us by making infrastructure available. Let security be fought.
As Christians, what we'll advise ourselves to do is to continue to look up to God. So many people are committing suicide every day. Many people are killing themselves. Many people are dying in depression. Some people are struggling with their blood pressure because of the situation of life. But we'll always have solace. We'll always have comfort. We'll always have encouragement only in God.
The services featured praises, worship, song ministrations by the choir, and prayers for the state and nation. In Uyo, Uwemedimo Samson, NTA News.
Relatively, a call for total loyalty and absolute self-commitment to the services of God and kingdom advancement are essential virtues that the Methodist Church Nigeria expects as a Uyo diocese of the church organizes newly accredited lay preachers to the congregation. Among the 19 consecrated lay preachers is the Director of Information, Ministry of Information, Akwa Ibom State. Etienne Iba was there for the Nta Uyo.
Standing here are 19 new lay preachers set for the divine mission as the Archbishop of Uyo Diocese of Methodist Church Nigeria, Most Reverend John Kokobasi, charges them to preach the message of love, peace, and salvation of Jesus Christ.
Their duty is for them to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, that is preaching peace, not prosperity, not war, preaching hope for the dying, giving the dying world hope again. You see, we are at the last time, at the end of the world, where everything is no more the same. And so what every person looks for now is peace.
It was a solemn moment as the Archbishop consecrated preaching gowns and other attires before presenting them to the new lay preachers with conference certificates and Bible.
Not the Son, not the Holy Spirit. Into their meaning.
Soul lifting hymns and renditions by the choir added the needed spiritual cover to the service. Some of the lay preachers and guests, including the Commissioner for Information, Akwa Ibom State in Emerebong, expressed their views.
I take it as an assignment from God. It's a commission. The Bible in Mark chapter 16 says, "Go ye into the world and preach the gospel to every creature, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit." So it is a calling, and I thank God I has found me worthy of this calling. And I want to say that everything I will do should be to His glory. We can have peace in Nigeria. We can have peace in the world if people are ready and willing to hand over their lives to Christ and allow the word of God to touch them. Our society will be a better place.
I see this as a period of consecration, consecrated, invited into the Great Commission, invited into the inner circle of the people who must do the work that the Lord has placed on their hands. Yes, we are Christians, we are all called to the Great Commission, but there are those who are now invited specifically to make it a duty. Every day she must audit her life. Have I preached today? How many people have I preached to? At the end of the month, she must ask, have I converted people? You see, that becomes a responsibility.
The person that has become a lay preacher today is one of my products, one of my staff in the Ministry of Information, and I left information many years ago. But I still identify with them. They still identify with me. And that is why I am very happy to be here, to identify with her on this great day.
As the church commissions new lay preachers from different circuits, it is hopeful that the new spiritual commitment cause them to win many souls for the expansion of God's kingdom. in Uyo, Etienne Ibanga, NTA News.
Away from church-related activities, 2 executive bills forwarded to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly by the State Governor Moeno for consideration and passage have scared first reading on the floor of the Assembly. Assembly correspondent Nta Uyo report that the 2 bills were received for legislation through a motion by the Chief Whip of the House, Effiong Johnson, and seconded by member representing the Temekbo Eka State Constituency, Mfon Idong. The report.
The 2 executive bills forwarded to the House are a bill for a law to establish the Akwa Ibom State Infrastructure and Asset Management and Maintenance Agency, and for other matters connected therewith, and a bill for a law to establish the Akwa Ibom State Bulk Purchase Agency for the purchase of bulk commodities in the state, and for other matters connected thereto. The governor's message was presented on the floor by the clerk of the House, Nsikara Basiorok, where the governor urged the lawmakers to accord the executive bills the necessary legislative consideration and passage.
A bill for a law to establish the Akwa Ibom State Infrastructure and Asset Management and Maintenance Agency, and for other matters connected thereof, pursuant to Order 702 sub 1 of the Standing Order of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. I am forwarding the above bill for your consideration and passage into law.
The Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udemotong, pledged the commitment of the leadership and members to give the 2 bills accelerated consideration.
Structure and Asset Management and Maintenance Agency and other matters connected thereof, and a bill for law to establish the Akwa Ibom State Bulk Purchase Agency, and for the purchase of all commodities in the state and other matters connected thereof. However, we have heard those messages from the governor. We urge the House to give those messages an accelerated consideration.
Nta Uyo, NTA News.
Relatively, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has passed a resolution authorizing Ibom Air to assess the sum of 30 billion naira bond under the 200 billion naira bond issuance program by IAL Financial SPV PLC, as sponsored by Ibom Airlines Limited to expand its businesses. The resolution is equal to a letter sent to the House by Governor Moeno and was presented on the floor by the clerk of the House. Nta Uyo has the detail.
A motion for the message to be received for deliberation was moved by member representing Bo State Constituency, Effiong Johnson, and seconded by member for Esienudum State Constituency, Prince Ukbong Akpabio. The Deputy Speaker and member for Itu State Constituency, Kufre Basiedidem, and the Deputy House Leader, Otobong Bob, say as long as the airline is responsible for the repayment plan and not the state government, considering the outstanding nature of the airline, expansion and its accelerated progress, that it's advisable to get a bond for its business rather than raising loans from commercial banks as was done in the past.
Sooner we give the resolution for them to approach bond market to raise this finance, the better for the operation of the airline. Currently, we are aware that over 600 air has over 600 staff across the nation. And we also know that over 70% of these staff are working. And when this bond is done and they expand their fleet to fly other African countries, more of our children are going to be employed.
So today, Ibom Air is the branch of Akwa Ibom State, and we, as the People's Assembly, must do everything we can to ensure that its wings are not clipped. Ibom Air must continue to fly high and proud and for the benefits of Akwa Ibom State and from Nigeria as a whole.
The Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udemotong, after deliberation, directed the clerk of the House to communicate the resolution of the House to the State Governor for further action.
ISPO for up to 30 billion naira bond issuance under
Meanwhile, a bill for a law to establish a Akwa Ibom State Oil and Gas Corporation has scaled through first reading and is sponsored by member representing Esienudem State constituency, Prince Ukpong Akpabio. Giving insight into the bill, Mr. Ukpong says the corporation wishes to be known as Ibom Oil and Gas Correspondent shall be given powers to engage in all oil and gas upstream activities, including exploration, drilling, and production in Akwa Ibom State.
The bill holds enormous benefit for the state to create massive employment for our teeming youth and women, to also equip our people with much needed technical know-how about the oil and gas sector. Mr. Speaker, it will increase our revenue base.
The Speaker Udamotong, in his ruling, committed the bill to House Committee on Petroleum Resources to report back to the House in 1 month. Nsika Okon, NTA News.
Moving forward, the National Orientation Agency, NOAA, has taken its campaign against bush burning and social vices to the people of Uyo local government area. Nta Uyo was there for the NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency is on a tour of local government areas campaigning against bush burning and social vices. The campaign against bush burning comes on the heels of climate change, global warming, and its effects as currently being experienced. For social vices, the agency is leading a campaign on behavioral modification to entrench national values and patriotism. This is the message to the Uyo people by the State Director of the agency, Mr. Mkpautum.
In a bid to ensure a clean and balanced ecosystem for habitation by all, there is need to refrain from negative environmental practices like indiscriminate bush burning, which is capable of aggravating the vagaries of climate change, which we are all experiencing now.
The people of Uyo, through the Transition Committee Chairman, Dr. Uwemedimo Udo, and the paramount ruler, Dr. Silvanus Okon, youth and women groups received the message and promised to implement accordingly.
We talked about behavioral change, social vices, how it affects, how it hampers our development as a people.
We are going back again to inform the local areas, our areas, by telling the town criers to announce it to all the East and East rurals for what we have learned from here.
Papers are presented on effects of bush burning on the ecosystem and the need for behavioral modification. Nta Uyo, NTA News.
In a bid to encourage farmers in Akwa Ibom State to record greater yield, especially in the dry season, the state government is distributing solar water pumps and machines to farming groups for irrigation purposes across the state. The State Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in collaboration with the FADAMA and the Rural Electrification Agency, are driving the initiative. Etienne Iban will tell us more.
Experts say the importance of water in crop production promotes high productivity, and the Akwa Ibom State government is distributing solar panels and solar-powered irrigation machines to vegetables and cassava farming groups across the state. This exercise, the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development of Yongofo and other stakeholders say is in line with the rice agenda of Governor Moino, which aims at stimulating agriculture to enhance food sufficiency, food availability, and security.
It's important that we all use our hands to go back to the farm and do something with our hands. That's what His Excellency is saying. He said last week, he said, sow something. We present this solar water pump to you to be used for irrigation, for dry season farming, for food sufficiency in Akwa Ibom with the accompanying machine. Congratulations.
The Rural Electrification Agency is interested in queuing into the agricultural revolution of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino. Our governor is at the forefront of expanding agriculture.
This week,
add to their productivity. It's going to reduce the stress you've been going through. It's going to reduce a lot of things, and it's going to help you to produce more.
Benefiting Farming's group test run the equipment, describing the gesture as laudable.
We're suffering too much because there was no water and our crops were dying, drying in our farms. So we run short of income, short of food sufficiency. So that was our challenge during this dry season.
Now you have a pump that can shower the place with the water. So it's a very wonderful operation and it's very good. We want the governor to continue to help the farmers. We are really very grateful.
We need more of what we have seen today, and many people to be empowered. You can see these numbers of groups, and I'm still believing that there are many groups who are yet to be identified.
As farmers anxiously await the first rain of the year, the intervention is expected to nourish crops for bumper harvest. In Uyo, Etienne Ibanga, NTA News.
Well, those are the much we can accommodate on the news segment of the Newscope tonight. I remain Kevin Samuel, while Omo Basidet is waiting behind for the continuation of the Newscope shortly after this break. I wish you are the best of the night.
Welcome to Prisma International Hotels, located at number 5 Efangosanga Street, Afarafort, Overback Road, Uyu. When it comes to hospitality industry, nothing compares with comfort, exquisite services, and top-of-the-world security. These are what make Prisma Hotels a household name. At Prisma Hotels, you are assured of lavishly furnished, spacious rooms and suites with complimentary breakfast, top-class Blue Sea swimming pool, VIP and poolside bars, as well as restaurant where African and continental dishes are served at pocket-friendly rates. These are not all. There is high-speed internet service, closed-circuit television, spacious car park, 24-hour power and water supply, sparkle laundry and dry cleaning services, and above all, combat-ready security operatives. So whenever you are in Uyo or you are a resident in Uyo, capital city of Akwa Ibom State, make Prisma Hotels number 5 Efangosanga Street, Afarafort, Overback Road, Uyo your choice, and you will cherish the experience. For bookings and inquiries, please call 081-3166-6660 or 0915-509-9989. Prisma International Hotels, hospitality par excellence.
From the American people then.
One passenger, big auntie. Come and enter my bus now.
Hey, conductor, this cough is serious. I beg, you need to go to the hospital.
Hospital?
Doctors say cough symptoms are different in every condition. Some are dry, others are wet, like your own.
God bless you, auntie. I have told this my conductor. The cough has refused to go, and it could be tuberculosis.
Conductor, check am o. Make you dey sure, because who no go, no go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB test and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 or dial *3340# for more information. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people.
One passenger. Big auntie, go enter this bus.
Ha! Oga conductor, this kind cough na serious matter o. You suppose go hospital.
Hospital care.
Haba, doctors don talk am say different types of cough dey. Some na dry cough, but this your own na wet cough e be.
Big auntie, na God go bless you. I don tire for this my conductor and him cough wey no gree go. E fit even be tuberculosis.
Conductor, go check am o. Make you dey sure, because who no go, no go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If cough don't worry you past 2 weeks, if it be tuberculosis, TB test and treatment na free. Just call the National TB Hotline for 3340 or dial *3340# to get better information. This message now from the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people then.
Welcome back, and you're still watching your favorite flagship program, The Newscope. After 35 years of meritorious service to the Nigerian Television Authority and graciously bowing out, members of the programs department of NTA gathered to celebrate a former manager programs, Nta Uyo. Edidion Iba reports that the event afforded her former colleagues the opportunity to recall fond memories of a time while in active service.
Celebrating 35 years in service and bowing out meritoriously is no mean feat and worthy of celebration. Hence, members of the programs department of Nta Uyo converged to celebrate one of their own, Mrs. Nta Uyo, who recently retired as manager programs. General Manager Nta Uyo and other staff of the station poured encomiums on the retired staff fondly called Auntie May. They recalled fond memories with her while still in active service and wish her well in her next phase of life.
The few times I've had to do anything with her, to ask her to take up any assignment, I've always been very fulfilled because she takes it up personally to the best of her ability, and she delivers on what you ask her to do.
We did it necessary because she retired in full life, not in death. We are not standing before the grave, rather we are celebrating life.
At the end of every good service rendered is the reward. Nta is a mother, is an advisor.
And it is because of her I learned how to edit.
If you have any issue, go and meet them. His advisor, he will advise you.
As much as you have a challenge and you go to her, she's always there to assist in one way or the other.
She had touched someone's life in this Nta Uyo. God bless her, man. Thank you.
May that Lord continue to keep you and bless your neighbors and bless your family.
The very active, retired, yet not tired Mrs. Nta Uyo, in an emotion-laden voice, says she is grateful to God for sustaining her throughout her time in service and for successfully retiring in good health.
I believe that you're coming to NTA. You're coming to do the practical of what you learned in school. If I see you and I see that you're not serious, I am not your friend. I like serious people.
Gifts were presented to the retiree as her colleagues sang and danced.
For long life, for more strength, for opening doors and breakthrough as she is leaving us.
In Uyo, Edidion Iba, NTA.
Yeah, very big congratulations out there to our former manager programs, Nta Uyo. 35 years is no mean feat. I agree completely with Edidion. And moving on now, grey hair in ancient African culture was regarded as a sign of wisdom associated with old age. Today, that narrative is fast taking a different dimension as younger people have grays. While some say it is hereditary, others say it is caused by stress. But do you also know that your ethnicity can determine how soon you have grey hairs? Our correspondent went to town in a bid to unravel factors causing grey hair, especially among young people. It's usually a thing of joy to see people grow into old age with their hair gradually transforming into greys. While some try to banish the greys with hair dye, others flaunt it with pride. Associated with age, it is however not uncommon to see young persons with grey even before they grow old. Some say it is genetic and therefore hereditary, yet others say the early appearance of grey hair can be attributed to stress.
It's a family tradition, part of my inheritance. My father used to have this nickname Nta because he had grays all over the arms, everywhere in the body. I have 4 children, and I've seen the oldest is 21, I've seen grays on the heads of even the girls who are under 20. Things are pretty tough too, so I would not also rule out the stress factor. We are quite stressed in this country.
It could be hereditary, but mostly stress can cause gray hair. Especially now in Nigeria, things are very expensive. High cost of living, people are going through a lot.
Partly it can be from stress and also the scorching sun.
Medical research has this explanation for premature graying.
Aging, one, then genetics too is an important cause. If you come from a family where your parents have early graying or they gray early enough, the chances that the children may also gray early enough increases. Other factors could include ethnicity, where one comes from, yes. Some nutritional deficiencies could cause graying.
Is there any treatment for gray hair?
There's no known cure to graying. There's nothing as at today that will stop graying or reverse graying. However, we have other things that can be used to mitigate the effect of graying. And most people will know about hair dyes and colorants. Or you live with it, which is the best option really.
Whatever divide you find yourself, flaunt it with pride. Flaunt your gray hair with pride. So moving on now, experts have identified diabetes as a sickness that enters humans on dual capacity, with type 1 being hereditary while type 2 is as a result of unhealthy lifestyle. Let's join Utve Achibong as she tells us more on the ailment.
Diabetes is a metabolic disease that causes high blood sugar. The hormones insulin moves sugar from the blood to be stored or used for energy. With diabetes, one's body either does not make enough insulin or cannot effectively use the insulin it makes. Health experts identify two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2, where type 1 is hereditary, while type 2 is linked to unhealthy lifestyle.
So what we are going to be concerned about today is mainly type 2, the one that you will acquire because of your lifestyle. And this lifestyle affects mostly middle-aged men, middle-aged women, and women who have already had children. So we talk about two types of diabetes, type 1, which requires insulin, and type 2, which may or may not require insulin, but most of the time will require lifestyle changes, eating better, and may also require taking some tablets to control your blood sugar level and then reduce those symptoms that you may have.
Diabetes is not a terminal disease, Once you've been diagnosed, if you meet a doctor, you can live a long, healthy life, And then I'm urging people to try to just check their blood sugar. A lot of people have diabetes and they don't know.
Symptoms such as increased thirst, frequent urination, weight loss, extreme fatigue, sore that does not heal, increased hunger, among others, are indications of the presence of diabetes and hence the need for immediate medical attention.
You should not die of diabetes. Now, if you wake up and you're feeling dizzy, they have checked your sugar recently and it was high, maybe more than 300, you're dizzy, you're continuing to have difficulties, you need to see a healthcare provider and take your medications, because if you do fall and hit your head, I think that should be considered a very serious complication.
Somebody that will have just a small wound that doesn't heal, and they don't know they have diabetes, and they end up having their legs or their limbs amputated. So they just understand that people need to be aware that diabetes can kill if you don't get tested and if you don't manage it well. Yes. Research shows that diabetes, if not properly managed, can lead to more complications, including heart failure, cardiovascular diseases like stroke, kidney disease, and many others. Who is most vulnerable and how can it be managed?
Diabetes occurs in middle-aged men and women because of the lifestyle that they have. They don't exercise, they eat everything that they can afford, they eat everything that they see, and most of the time they start gaining weight. When you gain weight around your stomach area, like the Michelin Man syndrome, then you most likely will develop diabetes.
Diabetes is not a terminal disease, but health experts advise patients on routine regular medical checkups and other healthy lifestyle, including exercises for a normal life. In Uyo, Utabe Achibong, NTA News.
Health, they say, is wealth, so there's need for you to carry out regular and routine medical check if you want to stay healthy. Moving on now, one major challenge facing farmers in Nigeria is the non-availability of storage facilities. This is even more worrisome among fruit sellers, and with the 2024 fruit season here again, the traders are devising different methods to keep their fruit safe in the face of high cost. Promise Omana has details.
Fruits are essential for healthy living, and medical experts have often recommended that one fruit a day is capable of keeping common ailments, including cancer, at long distances. With the fruits already in season, residents of Uyo now have another chance to enjoy their favorite fruits, but doing so might eat into their pockets. For instance, a bunch of watermelons that were earlier sold at 400 to 600 now go for 1,000 naira depending on the size.
If you want to lose weight now, be eating it at night, combined with cucumber. It depends on the body system, as I said before. But there are some people, while eating it, it will add weight to them. Depends on the body system. So when eating it in the morning, it's very good when you eat it empty stomach, to get what you want. You can take it as an appetizer before eating your main meal, to prepare your stomach for the main meal.
So take it because I believe it refreshes one's body. That's why I take it. I don't think, apart from few of them you take by prescription, maybe considering your health and all of that.
Grape now is 200, but before it used to be 100 naira. But now as they are bringing it, they are telling us that the transport is high, that before they pay, like the woman that sell this one today told me that the transport fare, she had to pay 800 naira to get to Akpanande market. Everything here, the price is high, twice than before.
The lifespan of some fruits does not exceed 1 week, and for this reason, fruit sellers are always at loss whenever they are not able to exhaust sales. This calls for provision of storage facilities.
They will not keep plenty. You just buy a little that you can sell quickly. But if you give like 3 days, you will keep in the place that there is no heat.
We don't refrigerate it, as in the old one like this. You just keep it like this. But at the rainy season, you don't buy much so that it won't spoil. It's only on dry season you can buy much. This
red apple, it doesn't take time. Like this period, because it's the period of heat, apple would not take, it takes just a week. It's too much for some apple. Pineapple now doesn't give us problem because it's not raining season. If it's raining season, I don't buy it much like this, because once water touch it, it will get spoiled very easily than this drying period.
The fruit sellers and buyers are praying that government will provide storage facilities for them to make fruits available all year round. In Uyo, Promise Umana, NTA.
We'll take a break now to pay some bills. We'll be right back with more reports. Don't go away.
It has happened again.
Wow, it's big.
It's unique.
It's exciting.
NTA Channel 12 Akaitan and Road Uyo, your dependable station, has come up with another first.
Hire NTA Uyo Arena for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, child dedication and other events.
And enjoy full coverage and airing of your event on NTA Uyo at no additional cost.
You can't have this anywhere. For inquiries, call
Ikobong on 0703 018 5002.
Edidion on 0803 390 3521. NTA Uyo Arena. Let the world share in your happiness.
Glad to know you're still there. Recently, 23-year-old suspect Blessing Obiagboso has been arrested for alleged sale of a 1-week baby. Where has motherly love gone to? Let's join Junior Fesio Koye for details.
The arrest of this alleged 23-year-old suspected child seller who says she works in a hotel at Nnewi followed a tip-off from a whistleblower.
That fateful day, a particular number whistleblower started calling me, calling, then said, pick your call. Then I picked and I returned the call. The person said that he was a whistleblower, that he was calling from Nnewi, that there's a particular girl that is into the business of giving birth and selling, that she has sold two and gave birth to this particular one.
The suspect, however, denied selling her children but admitted that she gave out this her third son to her friend immediately after birth on the 8th of January 2024 to help her take care of the baby, while the first two she also had out of wedlock are staying with her boyfriend, who she claimed impregnated her.
I had this baby on January 8th at Nnewi and gave him to my friend to help me take care of him, as my boss in the hotel would not allow me to bring him the baby. So, when rumor was making the rounds that I sold my baby, I called the woman and she brought back my baby to me before I was arrested.
When asked about her parents, she said,
I and my parents have not been in good terms for a long time. My mother said she has disowned me, so they're not even aware of this my last pregnancy. But for the other two, they know.
When you look at her and her story, you gave birth to the first one, gave birth to the second one. No dowry was paid. You went and bashed the children to the biological father. Then you gave birth to this one. You didn't want to breastfeed the child. We have a way of finding out the truth. Because any information we get, we don't play with that information.
For now, the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare has taken custody of the little baby while investigation continues. Meanwhile, different strokes for different folks. While this 23-year-old girl is not appreciative of God's gift of the children to her, this 47-year-old childless woman has been scammed in her struggle to conceive and get her own child. What a world.
Since May 2022, I was paid to pay 1.5 million, but at the end of the day, the man said I have to add more money, so I had to add 450,000. Because of this journey, I lost my job. He told me that as a doctor, he's advising me to go for planting, so I had to follow his.
You know he's not a medical doctor.
I'm not aware, ma. It was when they brought me here I came to know. I'm not aware, to be sincere, ma.
While efforts are in top gear to apprehend the scammer, Anambra State Commissioner for Women Affairs advises thus.
If you want to adopt a child that you're looking for the fruit of the womb, that's okay. Go to any Ministry of Women Affairs in your state. Okay? Then seek for that. Write application, then start the process.
I have nobody to talk for me, ma, please. Let God use you to help me to come carry my things. I told him to give me my money. He's not picking call.
No, he's on the run.
If he can give me my money, but if he can not give me, I leave him to God.
This is a true case of what they say, life no balance at all. Life no balance. Moving on now, love has always been identified as the basis for bonding of two individuals culminating in marriage. What could then lead to the killing of a spouse by another in less than 2 months of wedding remains concealed. This is the story unraveling in Nasarawa village, Akpai local government area of Niger State, where 27-year-old Abdul Qadir Ahmed was allegedly killed by his bride of 5 weeks. Nta Uyo, who visited the village, tells us more about the tragedy that befell the community.
Deceased young husband Abdul Qadir Ahmed and his suspected wife Aisha Aliyu were said to have been together right from their primary school days, resulting in a relationship which metamorphosed into marriage.
After she introduced the deceased to us as her intended husband, we asked her severally if she loved him, and she answered in the affirmative. We would not have agreed to that marriage if they didn't love each other.
The testimonies by the parents of the couple corroborate the video clips of their wedding. 5 weeks into the marriage, love turned sour and ended in tragedy when the wife allegedly stabbed the husband to death.
They used to have disagreements at night when it was time to get intimate. On that fateful day around 1 a.m., I heard him screaming. Before we rushed him to the hospital, he died. She ran away after the incident. We have searched for her everywhere, but have still not found her.
While the parents of the alleged killer wife search for her whereabouts, parents and relatives of the deceased young husband mourn him. The village head of the community, Abdullahi Gimba, says his agrarian people had no record of such incidents and other forms of violence. Uncle to the suspect wife, while offering me a wife in the community, prayed for our safe return to Mina, the Niger state capital. Meanwhile, the state police command confirms the incident.
We are doing what we could. We are intervening both families, the family of the deceased, the family of the suspect, towards arresting the suspects. They are cooperating, they are assisting the police. Effort is ongoing on to get arrested. And the family are also assisting the police in our investigation to know what the problem was, what has been happening within the family, what could have made her to stab her husband.
The PPRO ordered that if apprehended, she would be investigated and prosecuted. In Mina, Mukhtar Wowo, NTA News.
Another sad one there. Life indeed is full of mysteries. There is a palpable tension at the Daji Emirate in Safe local government area of Zamfara state following an alleged brutal murder of a 65-year-old man by the recently inaugurated state community protection guards in the area. While Zamfara state government promises to thoroughly investigate the matter, family and close associates of the deceased are demanding justice. Jamilu Ibrahim tells us more.
It is a tragic situation indeed for the family and close associates of a 65-year-old farmer Magaji Lawali of Endo Todaji community in Safe local government area of Zamfara state, who was allegedly tortured to death by the recently inaugurated state community protection guards. Late Magaji was said to have been invited by the Safe local government office of the guards over an allegation. Eldest son of the deceased said his father was detained at the guards' custody for many hours and only for the family members to pick his corpse at the mortuary of the Safe General Hospital the following day.
I went to the mortuary along with my uncle, where we found the corpse of my father with blood stains all over his body and on the floor.
The unfortunate incident has obviously thrown the Endo-Tondaji community into a state of mourning.
We are glaringly in a tragic situation as we lost one of our beloved elders. We, however, take solace in the fact that nobody will live beyond his appointed time.
A close associate of the deceased and former National Assembly member who represented Zamfara Central Senatorial District, Senator Kabiru Garba Marafa, calls for a thorough investigation in the matter for appropriate action.
So what happened in Safi, I believe, would be an eye-opener to the government, to now reappraise the situation. Who are the people they employed? Did they go through the necessary checks that they were supposed to go through?
Meanwhile, Zamfara state government has condemned what it described as a clash between the community protection guards and members of the Atulot Vigilante Nsake in Safe local government area, which led to the days of the Magaji Lawali. A statement issued by Zamfara State Commissioner of Information and Culture Manir Ma'azu Haidara says a committee has been set up by the state government to investigate the matter, and anyone found culpable will face the full wrath of the law. The deceased, who is survived by 4 wives and 23 children, has since been buried in accordance with Islamic rites after an autopsy.
And that's our package on Newscope for tonight. Thanks for watching. I remain Umo Basadate, wishing you a beautiful evening out there.
Something new is about to hit your imagination of TV. A brand new sundial with StarTime's inbuilt technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTime's antenna and satellite signal. StarTime Sundial TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTime's highest bouquet for free, automatic system update. More benefits, more affordable.